Leather alert, we have a leather alert. We've come to what is rated the best beach in Phú Quốc Island, where I'm going to regale you with some very good stories from last night. I had 2 disasters last night. This sign, I think I've worked it out now actually. At first I was confused. I think you have to pay £3 to go on the beach. It's just worded weird, you know, which is totally exchangeable for food and drinks would make sense. Consumable food and drinks. So I think you pay the entrance fee, but you get £3 worth of food and drinks. Let's find out. So are these the people that are going to charge me? No, I don't think so. Like a guard. I think this is where I'm going to be paying. Hello. So it's 100,000, but I can have drinks?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Wow. Not bad. Worth £3. It's £4.50 if you want a sunbed. No, I think I'm just going to walk and then eat. Anyway, let me tell you about the absolute retardation that occurred last night on behalf of this retard. So you saw the last clip in the restaurant. Most of you will know, but some of you won't, but the scooters, they have a carrier section underneath the seat which you can put a few things in, and if you close the seat down it locks, and obviously you need your key to unlock that. You also need your key to start the fucking bike. Oh, what did this retard do? He had his key in his gay little fucking Mexican handbag thing, and I came out of the restaurant without even thinking. I put this bag in that compartment. Now usually I don't put my key in this bag, so that's how it happened, but there's no excuse for it. It's just complete lack of thought and planning, and like this hectic mind that's just like go, 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 go. It really, I mean obviously it has its pros and it definitely has its cons, and I'm telling you about one of the cons. So the bag went in and the seat got slammed down and locked. And the minute I slammed it down, I was like, oh shit, pretty sure my key's in that bag. Check the pockets, like, sure, it's got to be in my pockets. No, 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 it's in that bag. And then I was like, maybe the seat didn't lock because it is a bit hooked my bike. No, it locked. I gave it a good slam. So suddenly I'm about 1 kilometre away from my hotel. My camera, my phone, my wallet, my key for both hotel and bike are in the locked compartment of the bike. So my first tactic is to have a little pull at the seat. Nah, not happening. It's locked. So then it's to look at the restaurant staff where I've just eaten, like, oh! Obviously there's no, we can't speak each other's languages. And they just look at me like, not our problem. And it wasn't. You know, and what could they do anyway? So then I'm thinking, what the fuck do I do? So I'm thinking, right, and at this point it's like 10 o'clock at night. So it's like, is the host of the hotel even going to be up and about? And it's going to take me 30-40 minutes to walk back to the hotel, and I'm not even totally sure where the hotel is, and now I've got no sat nav because I've just locked my phone in the fucking bag. Right, I better walk back to the hotel, she'll have a spare key, all is good. And then I think, I'm not even sure where my hotel is. So I walk for about 5 minutes and I ask this Vietnamese lad if I can use the maps on his phone, and he doesn't speak English, so he gets his translator out, and I'm like, I've got a big problem, this is what's happened. Can I just check where my hotel is on your phone? And he's like, yeah, sure, no problem. Put it into his maps, and yes, it is. I know where my hotel is. I can get to my hotel. So I start off walking, and then I just realised, you know, this is going to take ages. She's probably not even going to be up. I'm going to potentially end up leaving my bike on the street. Now, my experience in Vietnam is it's completely safe. I've not had nowhere near a moment of feeling unsafe or any scams or feeling like I was stolen. Actually, quite the opposite. There's been many opportunities for people to scam me when I don't understand the money, or I give the wrong amount of money and they correct me and give me, you know, the correct amount of change when they could have taken more money. But Whenever I have stayed anywhere, the hosts have always been very keen to lock my bike up at night, and they talk about, you know, it being unsafe to leave your bike out. So that's obviously a knowledge that I hold, even though I've not experienced it. And I'm like, I don't want to leave the bike on the street because it's literally got everything in it except my passport. You know, I'd be absolutely screwed if all that disappeared. I suppose I wouldn't, but it would have been costly to replace it all. And I'd have lost a lot of footage, which would have been frustrating. Then after this 5 minutes of walking to my hotel, I turn around and I'm like, I'm just not leaving my bike on the main road. I don't know how long it's going to take me to get back. You know, it could be 1 AM by the time I get back to it, you know, and it might not be there. So I'm like, right, okay, I think the best thing for me to do is sit on the bike and use my legs to push it along back to the hotel. So then if she's not up and I can't get a spare key, at least it's at the hotel, it's locked away, it's safe, my gear's safe, and I don't know how I'm going to get into my room, but at least I'm back at the hotel. And then I think I've been saved. There's a Vietnamese family. I've only been doing this for a minute and I'm already like, fuck me, this is exhausting. I've got to do this for a kilometre. And I'm going downhill as well, so it's pretty easy, and I can see that there's an uphill coming up. This Vietnamese family sort of do this, which I think means stop. And they're like, they can't speak English, obviously I can't speak Vietnamese. They're asking me what's going on. I'm like, oh, these guys are going to help me. Like, is it some sort of Vietnamese trick that might get me out of this situation? And so I go to them, I point at the key section, I point in the seat, and I go like that. And they like literally just look at me in total shock, like mouths drop to the floor. And they just burst out laughing. Not only are they laughing, they're pointing like, this retarded tourist has locked his key in the bike. So I realise that they aren't going to help, not that they should or can. And they're just having a bloody good laugh at me, and rightfully so, because it was fucking retarded, and I can understand from their point of view, it was very amusing. So at this point I'm resigned to the fact that I'm not going to get any help, there's no magic trick to get out of this. I am pushing this fucking scooter back to the hotel. So I've probably at this point been doing that for 3 minutes. And then I hear beep 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 behind me, and the original lad that had let me use his maps had seen the predicament I was in and was obviously like, I can't let him fucking push that back. And he knew how far my hotel was as well, because he'd seen it on the maps. So he was obviously like, I can't let this happen. And he, you know, he pulled me over and he just started pulling at the seat. But rather than pulling from the back where it's locked, he started pulling from the front. And you know, he managed to get like a 2 centimetre gap, and a bit of my bag that the key was in like was coming out, and I was like, yeah, the back. And then he's, you know, going for it, and he gets the seat up, which was such a huge relief. Suddenly I could start my bike and just drive back to the hotel. But what it does mean is the seat is now broken, which I'll show you in a minute, because I'm about to go back and get my hat. So now I have the dilemma of, am I really a decent person? Shall I be honest with my host, because she won't check the seat? Shall I be honest with my host and say, listen, I've broken the seat, you know? But then you're opening yourself up to, you know, a ridiculous bill, like an overcharge, because it is just a clip that needs replacing, a hinge. And the bike is, see, I'm making excuses already for why I'm not going to do it. The bike's fucked, like the mileometer doesn't work, the engine light's on, something else as well that don't work. So I don't know. You know, I've got 2 days to deliberate over that one. And then the next story, I don't really want to tell you, but it's good entertainment and it is what happened. So, you know, I try and share this journey as authentically as possible, even when it allows people to completely project onto me. But you know, I feel that's what I'm here for. I'm here for the retards to project and to, you know, slowly get over their conditioning. And by sharing stories like this, I'm displaying vulnerability and authenticity. And you know, that is what humanity needs more than anything, along with presence. So yeah, so as you know, if you've been following the journey, I haven't smoked for 3 days now, so 2 days yesterday. And I usually use Grinder to find ganja. And anyway, so this American guy sent me a message on there saying, this is the bar, you can get it in. And I was like, oh, nice one. So this is like 10 PM at night. And the bar's half an hour away. And then he's like, and this is my dick, you can have that too. I'm just like, fucking hell. Ganja dick, fuck me. Went into a bit of a hedonistic fucking overload. And I was like, damn, let's do it. So he's in the bar, he's found, surprisingly, a Nigerian who's sorting people out. And it's £10 for a G. I'm like, yippee-ki-yay, I'll see you at the bar in half an hour. I'll get stocked up. Now at this point, I'm about to tell you some travel plans as well. I got loads to tell you. At this point, I thought I was going to be getting on a bus across Vietnam, so there was no problem with stocking up. And yeah, I was looking forward to it. I was looking forward to getting a smoke and maybe having a bit of D. And then, so I'm driving along, it's 25 minutes away, and I realise I've only got 3 bars worth of petrol. And I think by this point, it's gone 11 o'clock. I mean, actually, I think all this probably started about 11 o'clock. I think it's about 12 o'clock at this point. It's dark, the streets aren't particularly well lit apart from the main road. And I'm like, did I tell you that I had 3 bars of petrol, so half a tank? And I'm like, if I run out of petrol on the way back, I'm definitely going to make it there. But if I run out of petrol on the way back, I'm fucked. I'm just going to be on a dark road in Vietnam. Like, what the fuck do I do now? So I tell myself, right, there's 3 bars. If I get there without the 3rd bar going, or if the 3rd bar disappears within 5 minutes of me getting there, then okay, I'll get back because I've still got 2 bars. Or, you know, a 1/3 of a tank of petrol. Anyway, after 10 minutes, this fucking 3rd bar disappears, isn't it? So I do something sensible actually. So it is actually, you know, this is actually a sensible story overall. Oops, which is quite unusual for me. And you know, also I am like, what are you doing, Tom? You're 40. Like, why are you getting on a bike at 11 o'clock at night and driving some random horrible bar? Yeah. I mean, I had no intention of spending any time in the bar. I just wanted to score and get out of there. But actually, I don't think I need my hat. It's pretty cloudy. Let's keep walking. I decide to turn around. I take the safe option, turn around, get back to my hotel, send him a message saying I've run out of petrol. But and he's like, I mean, he's in his 20s, so he's like, you know, he's hedonistic as fuck. And he's like, come on bro, get a grab, what else are you gonna do, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, bro, I'm not fucking 20. You know, I'm not fucking risking. Oh, he's like, you'll get here, we'll find you some petrol when we get here. He was trying all sorts to get me to go. All the different suggestions. But yeah, I was mature and sensible and didn't do it. I thought there was a tampon on the beach there, but it wasn't. So yeah, I guess it's not, that one's not a total retardation story, but it's just an interesting story how hedonism and the desire to escape oneself can just make you make some really stupid decisions. Anyway, so we've arranged to meet today so I can score. But you know, now it's day 3 of not smoking and I'm like, actually, I don't think it's worth it. Especially seeing as I found out by seeing a fucking aeroplane come down to the island that there's an airport on this island. So next I'm going to Dat Lat, which everyone raves about. It's a high up mountain village, very cool climate, pine forest, apparently it's quiet. It really is the place that people are absolutely raving about in Vietnam right now. So I assumed I was going to be travelling across the country, 16 hours of travel on buses. And then I realised there's an airport on this island, so I was like, can I fly to Dat? Oh yes, yes I can. So now, rather than 16 hours of travel, I'm taking a 5-hour, and that includes a 3-hour layover in Ho Chi Minh City, straight to Dat. So it's costing about 3 times more than it would on the bus. But it means I never need to see that red boat from hell again between here and Ha Tien. I never need to see Ha Tien again because that place traumatized me. So yeah, I feel like it's a really good decision. And what it also means is I can't stock up on ganja because obviously I'm going through security at an airport. And it's, you know, it's serious out here. Like, is it even worth smoking for the next 2 days? Like, I mean, the answer is definitely no. Because then it means I have to go through that day from hell again when you first stop smoking. And I don't even enjoy it anyway. It's all just a fucking old story that doesn't serve me anymore. It's absolutely ridiculous. Look at this sea creature. What is that? It's like some sort of sea caterpillar. Oh, interesting. That's what's happening. We've got 2 more days on this island, which feels perfect to me. So this island is amazing for like your stereotypical tourist. I'm really glad I came. I think 4 days has been perfect. The only other things that are left to do, you know, on the tourism list after this beach are real tourism things. Like, so there's the main reason people come to this island is because it's got the longest cable car in the world. And what it does is it takes you to another island which has a theme park on it. And included in the ticket price is the theme park. So I don't think I'd have even gone on the cable car anyway, to be honest, because it's just not me, like being in a small confined space with a load of, you know, normies who are going to be noisy. And I just find stuff like that boring. You know, I'd much rather just be on a beach or in a forest. The fact that it includes a theme park and you have to pay for the theme park, like as if I want to go to a theme park, like that's literally my idea of hell. Again, I'm not knocking it. I think it's fantastic that it's available here. I think everything here is fantastic, but it's not really me, other than, you know, the beaches and the nature. But also you're paying a premium for this, you know, you're paying a premium to be on this island. Like my room is a third more expensive. Food, unless you're eating Vietnamese food like I did last night, like the Indian restaurant last night was insanely expensive. It's not really worth being here any longer, but I'm very glad I did it. And then the other things are, alright, yeah, so there is a national park, but it's right up at the north of the island. So I'd like to see that, but I need to get there at like 7 AM or 8 AM at the latest to walk for 2 hours before the sun comes up. So, you know, it would mean setting off at 6 AM. So if I wake up one morning and that aligns, I'll do it. If it doesn't, it doesn't. The other thing I'm slightly interested in, but again, it's an hour and a half up north drive, is a safari park. But again, it's just going to be very commercial and touristy. But, you know, if you get to see... The last time I saw a giraffe, I think, was when I was 18, 22 years ago in Africa. In the Serengeti. I mean, that's another thing, it's not going to compare to the Serengeti, is it? However, you know, I can barely remember that now. So I might do that. But and then everything else is like these. I'm going to show it you on the way back, actually. There's an amazing town near me, which, you know, so yesterday I showed you, or 2 days ago I showed you the Venice that they've created, and near me there's like a copy of an Italian town, and it is spectacular. And like, to say you're in Vietnam, it's very unusual to see something like that. But again, it's, you know, it's touristy, it's concrete, it's not me. So yeah, that's what's happening. In 2 days we're getting on a plane and we're going to Dalat, and I can't wait to see Dalat. It's sun hat time. So this is where you're meant to open it from the back, which is locked. But now, because of, you know, what happened last night, this buckle is all broken and I can open it from the front. I'm not sure if I've been a numpty and just, you know, gone to the easiest place and got ganked for £3, because even though you do get it back in the bar's very expensive, so, you know, I have paid an entrance fee, which I don't mind. It's glorious. I mean, it is white sands, it's beautiful. In fact, let's have the camera this way because it's way more beautiful than my mug. But, you know, I just wonder, like, there's loads of bars, so are they all doing that, or have I just found the only bar that does that? I imagine they all do that, and like I say, I don't really care. I'm just creating content. And perfect timing for the creation of content, we have a great big fatty. Boom, 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 boom. So the fatties watching Triggered, I'm just acknowledging what people are. I've got a fucking pot belly and I'm a bit of a faggot. In fact, I've been a massive faggot in my life, so yeah, it is what it is. Just deal with it and don't get triggered and do something about it if you don't like it. I mean, being fat is, you know, it's not even that hard to do something about it, I mean. Oh my goodness, it is so beautiful out here. I'm walking right down to the end of the beach. There's no retards out here because there's no sunbeds or beer for them. You also have to walk past rocks. And there's also broken sunbeds. I mean, that one is a bit too broken. But obviously the tight South Yorkshireman in me, who's learning to be less tight because ultimately it's with self. And I'm starting to almost getting towards decent money to say that I live in the third world. You know, you only need 1,500 quid a month and I'm pretty much there. So I am ready to start spending money on stuff like sunbeds eventually. First it's going to be nice hotels and nice restaurants, and then we'll even go for fucking sunbeds. But I did just find back there a sunbed that wasn't even really broken, that had been discarded, so I managed to get some free sunbed time. I was fucking NPCing it in the sun, like, let me put on all these carcinogenic chemicals just so I can lie in the sun but still go back with a little bit of brown, because that's actually the only reason I go on holiday, is to go back home and people will go, oh, you look brown, have you been away? And then I'll be able to go, yes, here's a photo I took and put on Instagram. That's the only reason I go on holiday.
That's lovely, Barbara. What was it like? Oh, Tracy, it was so magical. We've been to the same resort for the last 10 years and we just love it so much. We go back every year.
Because we're too fucking scared and fearful to actually take a risk at life, we go to the same fucking resorts in Benidorm every year. After taking a piss out of the retards for not going past the rocks, I'm not actually going to go past the rocks because I ain't got my swimming trunks on and you're going to have to go quite far out to do it. So I'm going to go back to the original restaurant, have a smoothie, edit a few videos that I've just recorded, and get my swimming trunks and maybe take that on, or maybe just go for a swim. I don't know, it depends how long I'm going to spend on this beach. I mean, there's not really any reason to leave it. So yeah, maybe we will. It absolutely amazes me when, you know, the information is right there. There's no conspiracy theory here. It's like, you know, there's medical studies that so clearly show it. And just any sort of common sense or intuition would tell you that sun cream is incredibly bad for you. Yet 99% of people, so ahead we've got one guy in a shirt, we've got another guy in a shirt. Apart from them, well, there'll be another 5, let's say. But the other 200 people, so that's what, 2.5% of people are conscious enough to realise that sun cream is one of the worst things you can put on your body. And yet there's all these retards just smothering themselves in sun cream. Now admittedly, you know, walking around like this isn't great. I think there'll be some people, let's say out of the 97.5% that are retarded, there'll be 5% of them that know about the dangers of sun cream, but would rather use it than look like this because they're more interested or more scared of what people think about them. See, this guy knows, he knows that sun cream is bad for you. That's why he's not fucking like this retard. So, and we're coming up to the other guy that knows in a minute. But yeah, there will be a percentage of them that are more motivated by how they look and what people think of them than, you know, avoiding things like skin cancer. Yes, conscious man, conscious man, conscious man, unconscious man. And here is one literally lathering himself in poison right now as we speak. Wow. And I have to live amongst these people. Oh me. It's just mental, like, you know, when you have eyes to see and you're just amongst all these zombies. It is so crazy, man. Something exciting's happening. This lady is going, what do you call it? Paragliding? Parasailing? Parasailing, I think. It's definitely not paragliding. Sadly, this camera doesn't have a great zoom. It only goes 2 times. It's absolutely fantastic. I use the DJI most of the time. I do use my Samsung Galaxy S25 that a wonderful Stephen donated to me. Actually, I use that for Not Today Satan and Broken Mirror, but for this channel, I pretty much use this camera. And it's fantastic. I really recommend it. But the zoom on it is a bit of a letdown. I'm hoping the next version will have a better zoom. Anyway, is she going to go a bit faster at some point? Oh look, there's a drone in front of her. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. There's a drone flying in front of her to get all the footage. Wow. What a time we live in. Retards poisoning themselves and retards filming themselves. It's all very retarded, really, isn't it? I imagine that is pretty good fun. You know, that is one of the, like, you know, retard thing, what am I trying to say? So there's lots of offerings in this world, lots of external exhilaration type offerings that just help you avoid yourself. And, you know, actually what's happening here for retards, and this goes with trampolining, playing squash, anything where you have to be present, this is the only way they can be present, is doing something like this. So they are in the moment, you know, because they've they live in the past and they live in the future. They never live in the present moment. They're always in the mind, in either the past or the future. But when they do something like this, or, you know, just trampolining, or maybe even going for a walk, although not many retards will be able to be present when they're walking, they're actually in the present moment. So that's why people seek out thrills like this, because it's actually the only way they can experience. Obviously they don't know this, but this is what's happening. They can actually experience being in the present moment. Oh, what do you make of that? Are you going to project all over it because you're never in the present moment? Or are you going to be like, oh my god, this guy's super wise, that's so true. This is why I'm just not interested in anything like that, why I hate jet skis, you know, anything of this nature. Because to me, that's just, because I am present, not all the time, but you know, I have my present moments, that disturbs it. Any noise disturbs it. Any retardation playing out basically disturbs it. Which is why it's so hard to be conscious in an unconscious world, because you're just surrounded by constant retardation. So I started off that segment before I, you know, hit you with a load of cosmic conscious wisdom. But she's coming down already, that was crap. I wonder how much she paid for that. She's been up for like 3 minutes and they didn't even go fast. That is a right scam, I bet it wasn't cheap. Sorry, I keep going off on tangents. I was when I first saw it, was going to say, you know, of all the unconscious adrenaline activities that one may partake in, you know, I could kind of be tempted to do that, but as I speak into it, I'm just like, no. And especially as seeing it that it's only 3 minutes long. Oh, are they going to go again? Maybe they're going to go again. She has dropped right down to the water. I think it's done. Yeah. Fucking retards. Oh, they're going again. I'm not sure why they slowed down and dropped her down. Although they seem to be just... It's really shit. Like, they're going super slow and she keeps coming down to the water. You know, if you're going to do it, you want to fucking do it, right? Like, you want to be zooming along high up in the air, surely. This is crap. That's it. She's just come down. It was 4 minutes long. I just don't understand. Anyway, at least we don't have to film that or think about that ever again. So this is where you enter for free. Dilapidated old bar. I almost went down that track. There was some bikes there. Yeah, so I will probably do that tomorrow because this is a really beautiful place to spend your morning. A great place to record videos. But I probably won't come back again and pay again. But yeah, that's how we get it. Another example how the people pleaser always comes last. And I don't think I am a people pleaser, but I definitely recognise those traits in me. And you know, I saw that, so it was a dirt road, and then I saw the building that I've just shown you at the bottom, but I didn't realise it was ramshackle. I was like, is that someone's house? What is it? You could only see a little bit of it, didn't see how massive it was. And you know, so you go into like, oh no, I'll just follow the signs and go to the official parking place. I'll be a good little fucking goyim. As if I'd have just, you know, been a bit more selfish about it, self-loving about it, sovereign would be a better word actually, and just gone down the dirt track, which I was called to, my intuition told me to go down it, then I wouldn't have been stumped for the consumable entrance fee, where you can pay, where you can put it towards a highly overpriced drink. I don't mind, I really don't mind. I'm more than happy to support it. I mean, it depends. If it's going to the bar owner, I'd definitely rather do that. But if it's going to the maintenance of a beach and to like Vietnam, then no problem. Okay, let's get our smoothie. Obviously, I've chosen for others the most secluded table in the shade, away from the retards. So hopefully we'll get some peace and get to look out on the beauty. I order a smoothie. But I want no milk, no condensed milk, no milk, just fruit, yogurt and water, ice. Perfect, pineapple. Thank you so much. So I've realised why they're doing it. I mean, there's the whole subconscious thing about peasants that I spoke about earlier, but just on their like retarded level. You know, no one's watching what I just saw and thought, oh, I want to go and do that for 4 minutes. They've seen the drone and we're like, oh, that will look great on my Instagram. for someone else to do it now. That's got to be what's motivating. Leather alert. We have a leather alert. It's so mad, in it. Like, obviously, I realise I'm being a bit critical here because, you know, dick sucking and all that. And it's not entirely true to say I've never found a camp man attractive, but, you know, essentially, surely, I mean, it's all just fucking messed up, innit? It's all trauma playing out. It's not natural, and that's not to make it wrong, you know. Trauma is trauma, but yeah, I mean, if it doesn't show, but it is trauma playing out, then, and actually these people want to be with a man, the fact that they both look like men, you know, should really indicate that this isn't natural or a choice. It's very traumatized women who have probably had a bad experience with a man, but, you know, it could just be their dad as a child, and it doesn't have to be sexual. You know, it could be something very small to an adult person. Yeah, it's very interesting, isn't it? How, you know, they just look revolting. Like, how could any well-rounded, healed person find that attractive? For the next clip I make be me socialising with them and then being really lovely. Like what happened with a woman on the boat yesterday, and it happens so fucking often in my videos. But it doesn't mean that what I say isn't true. Anyway, I'm gonna go and get in that. Wow, that's just stunning. It's one of those really shallow beaches where you go out for miles. Just on that fucking side again, isn't it? Fuck me. You go out for miles and you're still at waist height. The most beautiful water, the most beautiful sands. It is a bit wavy for me. Fantastic for kids who want to play. But I like to meditate in the sea. I like to lie back and float. So yeah, ideal for me, but fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Just glorious. Yeah, highly recommend Sao Bao. A nice one in the south. Beach. Right up there with the red starfish. Oh my god. Fuck me. Right up there. It's unbelievable. Right up there with the red starfish. I guess now I'm conscious of it. Like, it will end because. And I think I'm noticing every time I do it. Right up there with the red starfish beach we went to. I mean, probably more beautiful, but the red starfish beach is probably better for your Instagram selfies, which I know you're all fucking obsessed with. So yeah, both brilliant. Red starfish beach in the north, this one in the south. Phú Quốc Island. So here we have, they have such interesting names in Vietnam, and most businesses, big businesses, not your mama and papa like restaurants, but most businesses are named in English. So I think this is genuinely called Dad Resorts. I mean, it could be an acronym for something. But anyway, what I'm showing you is just an example of, you know, how you can live a really nice Western life on this island, which from the rest of Vietnam that I've seen, love Vietnam, fantastic, could live here, but it's not like, look at all this room for him to go around, like, just literally all that. I guess, oh no, sorry, I'm doing my whole English conditioning thing, but beeping is complaining. Beeping is not complaining out here. It's just literally letting someone know you're going past. So here's another example of this island. These things are everywhere, like, and that is very similar to Ubud in Bali. So I do get why Gemini compared this place to Bali. But yeah, you can live on this island. First place I've seen in, oh shit, sorry, I'm in someone's way now. Sorry. Yeah, like that is quiet. It's going to be expensive though. Like, you pay a premium on this island, but you know, if you're earning any sort of Western wage, it's still not expensive. You know, by expensive I mean, what's that flat going to cost? That flat is probably going to cost £500 a month, something like that. $500 maybe £450. But you know, compared to Cambodia or the rest of Vietnam, that is expensive. But then you get what you pay for. You know, you can eat Western food every night. You can, you know, you can feel like you're in Europe, but without all of the tyranny and the fucking Negroes and Starnies. So yeah, this is a fantastic island if you are relatively affluent, or you know, just earn 20 grand a year. Yeah, you're considering escaping the tyranny. About it might cost a bit more. It might be more like 600 on this island. So I'm looking at the Lat, a very popular place for expats. I'm looking at long-term renting there, like for a few months, and something like that there I think would cost 300 to 400. So yeah, I think there's about, seems there's about 37